What's up, ninjas? My name is Sam World, and today I got more of a theory video for you guys. Alright, so as you guys know, I've been dabbling a lot with house, and don't worry, the Let's Play series is still going to continue. I just don't know if you guys still want to see me creating these type of tracks, so right now I just felt like making something housey. So today I'm going to be teaching you guys the house transition. I just call it this because I don't know if I should call it a bridge or what. Now in house, there's these portions where you have a drop, lasts about 16 to 32 bars, and then there's like a mini build up that goes into another drop where it's a little bit more hype, and those bridges are used to create a lot of tension. So pretty much this is a part where like people are just looking at the DJ and everything's getting fucking crazy, and all of a sudden and then it drops again, but it drops with more power. So today we're going to be talking about that. So first off, let me show you the idea of the track. Whenever I go into a track, I always want to go in with a fresh perspective, guys. Now I know most of my channel revolves around being sound design, but a lot of the times when I'm producing, I don't even worry about sound design. I tend to use a lot of presets from sound designers that I admire or I like in the scene, or I tend to use sample packs like shots and all this stuff. So for this one, I decided to go the shot route, which is going to be for the bass, because lately I've been like really like I want a really unique bass in the house tracks that I'm making, even if I'm not going to release them, or I will, you never know. So for me, it's like, okay, I always want to go fresh into a project, and I feel like a lot of people always feel like they're stuck in this cube, and that for the reason for that is because you're always using the same synths, you're always using the same plugins, the same sample pack. So for me in this one, I wanted to break that habit of always going to Silent or Serum and use something new. And you know, I've worked with people like you know, back then with a lot of people, and one of them was Max Vangeli. And Max Vangeli, what he does, and a lot of people might look down on it, is he likes to work with everything audiophile. He doesn't like to have any synths, you know, and I think a lot of the tracks and styles are in that form. And what I mean by this is, if you listen to Steve Angelo Gods, there's really like no synths in that. It's all sampled bass. When I mean sampled bass, guys, I don't mean like he sampled the fucking like something from this track and this track. I mean sample bass as in you use sample based instruments and whatnot. So here for this one, I used a sampled bass, which sounds like this. Now there are benefits and cons of using samples like this, but I'll get into them in a whole other video that I'm planning on making for you guys. Now the drop sounds something like this.
You are under control.
So drop is just, and you guys need to know the elements, because as we go into the build, that's where I'm going to be bringing them back and talking about them. So the drop is pretty much just that, dun 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 dun. And I wanted to do something like with toms, because I find myself not really using toms that much in my production. So I went into a pack and I found these. So you guys can hear. So then when you play it with the kick, it sounds like this. And then I have the bass, which gives it that element of a jump. So now everything together. So that's how that sounds like in some white noise down. And then we have a mini build here. Okay, and then this is the part where we get into the tutorial, which is this bridge here that we're going to be making. So we want to go from this to this and then add more hype, so that's what we're going to be doing. So straight off the bat, guys, what I'm going to do is, this is the added hype sound that I'm going to be adding on the second part of the drop. Which you guys already know from previous videos, it's like a signature sound I'm trying to make for someone. And if you follow me on Snap, you would also know that. So let's get to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I need to duplicate a couple of things out. First is the vocals. I'm going to be duplicating these out. Okay. The next thing is the drums. I'm not going to be doing the toms. I want them to stay like that and then come back in a drop. So that gives it the more added hype there. And other than that, those are all the elements we're using. Also, the bass is going to remain there. I do want her to say you are under control again, so we're gonna put this bitch here.
Control. Control.
Okay, the next thing is we need a lot of effects for this, and this is going to be great for those of you guys who are always wondering what effects do I need in my build-up and whatnot. Now, it's going to be different for every genre. Obviously, if you have deep house, you're not really going to pertain to having like a really crazy, you know, like build-up. A lot of times, you know, you want to keep it simple. You don't want to make it into a clubby track. So let's see what we can find. Okay, so I tend to use the Freshly Squeezed samples, Dave Parkinson's House Essentials. What I like about Freshly Squeezed, its sample company, is literally their samples, and some of their presets are pretty top-notch when it comes to trance and all that. But their samples are usually on point as well for like house and trance stuff. There we go. This is what I was looking for. Fuck, I need to call it snare build. Now we need like an impact. Now we're gonna add some automation to the drums, to the bass, sorry. We're gonna get rid of that low end. We wanna get rid of it slowly so that it kind of transitions well, and then as soon as we reach the end of the build-up, we slap that bitch back on and it's like boom, straight in your face back again. So that's what we're gonna be doing here. We're gonna be adding a little bit of automation like this and then coming back down. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is automate the drums as well. We're going to bust them for this just because they're going to be going under the same automation. Now, this is going to be a bit different for the drums. The drums, I want to give them that delay feeling. So what we're going to be doing is just doing one like this. I want to go the opposite way though. I don't want to low pass them. I want to high pass them. So we're going to do this, and not all the way through as well. Just enough. We're gonna add a washout to the drums as well. It's gonna sound like this. We're gonna add a simple delay. The default patch should suffice. Don't forget to bring it back down here though. Because if we leave the washout at fully wet, what's going to happen is you're still going to have that reverb information. Now, the cool thing about Ableton is if you lower the dry and wet down, it's going to act as if you never had a reverb, so there's going to be no reverb information. So we want to make sure by the drop, there's no reverb information. We want to have it as clean as possible. Now, the next thing is going to be, once we have the drum settled, it's going to be this bass here. We're going to add a little bit of a washout to it as well. I'm not sure if we should add a delay to it. We'll see right now. But the washout, again, perfect tool, guys. You can download it. Just look up Bass Clef Easy Washout, free download or something. Bassclef released it a while back, and I haven't used it much in my productions until I saw that Cymatics used it in one of their Ableton project files. So that's where I just saved it. I was like, might as well get it. I have a lot of students that come and see me here, and then we talk about production and I teach them, and a lot of them were using it in their tracks, but I didn't really think much of it. I thought of it as the lazy man's reverb until I saw what it can actually do for you. So it's a cool macro to have, and that's what we're going to be adding it right now here, just for this part. Now, I'm going to be using the bass clef, but I'm going to use it the opposite way on the stabs. I want the washout to be fully wet and then come down as we get into the drop. Now, reverb tends to kind of make stuff sound bigger, and so if you'll do too much of it, it makes it sound a lot more weaker. So the idea of this is going from weak to strong with the stabs. So this is what we're going to do, is pretty much this. Okay, so now we're gonna add a filter to this as well, because I don't want the reverb to be really, you know, fucking crazy. So it's gonna be like this. We're gonna put it in, and then we're gonna go back down on it. So that means that we're gonna bring that this fucking thing back down, and then straight back up like that. And then I want to have it like this so it comes back up too. I want to have this so that you can kind of hear that reverb. And now all we're missing is pretty much an uplifter to go with this. Man, I fucking fucked up on that spelling, guys. Alright, so the uplifter, we want it to be fairly hypey, crazy, let's just say that. You can go with a sample, or you can make your own. I've made videos on how to make your own if you want to check them out. Just search on my channel how to make uplifters. So we're going to be using two uplifters for this. We're going to be using a white noise based one. And then a hyphy one, which I think I could probably find in Sample Tools here, 2 Festival thing, if I can fucking find it. You know what? Let's go with the Cymatics ones. Risers. We're gonna have to mess with it though, because that is too harsh. So what we're gonna do is just kind of, I guess what we can do with this is, it's in G. My track is, I believe, in F. The bass shot's in the key of F, so it needs to be an F. So instead of going down 1 semitone, I'm gonna go up. It's gonna be 11, I believe. Just let me count. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's gonna be 10. I unaccounted for the sharp there, so it's gonna be 10 semitones up, and it should give us. Okay, that's better. EQ it. We're gonna again add that kind of filter in, because I don't want it to be too harsh straight off the bat, and then we can get rid of it here.
control.
Last thing is the vocals. We need to, again, I want to pitch these down because I already have them going here, watch. So I want them to keep going, but they're going to get automated down. You're going to filter them down so that they just don't disappear out of nowhere. That's pretty much the idea of that. I'm not going to bring them back in on the second part of the drop though, but I do want to make sure that after I automate this down, that we automate it back up for the you are under control. The around the head effect was just there for the drop, so I'm going to do this here. I'm going to leave it on there, turn it off here. Whoops, that's the other way. Off and on here. And then we should turn, is this off or on? This is, okay, on, wait, off here. Fuck, I'm already fucking it up. Okay, on here, and then off here.
You are under control.
Washout as well. So we get here, and then here we can kind of go down to maybe 20, 31, and then here we can just get rid of it.
You are under control.
So that's pretty much going to be this little transition tool. Once you compress it and master it, it should sound a little bit more together, not so spaced out, like many people said. Like many people usually run into as they feel when you're starting out or when you're like in the middle of like becoming an intermediate to advanced producer. You know, and sometimes that spaced out feeling, guys, don't worry about it when you're producing. Worry about it when you're mixing and mastering. I did an interview with Cherney and he talked about it. And when he talked about it, I was really kind of impressed in a way, just because I know a lot of people are going to deal with that as you move along in your little DJ career or your producer, more your producer skill set. You're going to run into stuff like that. Like, why doesn't my mix sound like tight like everyone else's? Mainly, it's sometimes you're going to need to do a lot more compression, parallel compression on the master bus or individually on your tracks. Anyways, guys, this has been this tutorial. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. You know, going to finish this track up, hopefully, and maybe I'll make a video about it. But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this was helpful for some of you. Hopefully for all of you. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care and have a good one.